I want to be a person who likes tea and looks forward to a cup of tea, but I don't like tea. And I'm really trying to like it. I think it'll be good for me. So here we go to yet another attempt of liking tea.
I'm gonna start with water. They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
Okay, I don't have a kettle, so I'm just gonna do it wrong. Happy end of fall. I didn't really have a plan when I was filming this vlog. I just had my camera around and tried to capture all the little moments of November, which over the years has become my favorite month. Novembers have always been kind to me. I don't know who wrote November is the month of poets, artists, thinkers, lovers, and wanderers. When I look it up, it takes me to Tumblr, which in itself makes sense. But I have the quotes saved on the Pinterest board I make for November every year. I consider myself all of the above, and over the years, every time the 11th month comes around, I can feel myself coming back to my skin like a creature, sweet creature, coming back home to hibernate for the winter. It's November and I'm reading again. It's been a while since I picked up a book that wasn't for class. Doing my master's in creative writing is one of the most magical experiences I'm having. Reading as a writer is what they trained me to do. It has been a long time since I have read as a lover or a wanderer. I want to talk about some of the books that I have read this fall. I feel that my book taste is changing, and books with premises that before I wouldn't have thought that I would have enjoyed, I've been enjoying. My literary taste is shifting and moving, and that's exciting because that's kind of like having yourself grow. I want to start with the book that I'm currently reading, Frankenstein. And with this one, I won't go into much thought because I'm currently filming a reading vlog just for this, so all of my reactions and thoughts would already be there. But this book is in the horror section in the bookstore, and horror it's my least liked genre. I don't enjoy horror in books, movies, music, if there's a genre of music for that. It's one that does not call my name at all. But because of the new adaptation from Frankenstein that came out, I wanted to read the classic, and I have a lot of friends who have read it and enjoyed it and loved it and recommended it to me and thought that I would like it, and they were so right. I'm currently halfway through the book and I'm loving this book. So far it doesn't have the horror components that I think of when I think of horror. I don't like grotesque descriptions, or I don't like a book that makes me scared, but so far this one hasn't. It does have, it's dealing with giving life to a dead body, so I guess in that sense it's kind of horrific, but it's treated and written in a way that doesn't make me scared. So because of that, I'm really enjoying it, because I guess one thing that I guess the main thing why I don't like horror, or I don't tend to enjoy it, is because I don't want a book to make me scared. That's basically the gist of it. I'm not the audience for that. But this book so far, it's being so beautiful. You can tell that it was written by a woman. I even saw a girl on TikTok saying that this whole book could be summarized to the experience of being a female. That's what Frankenstein is about, and I see it. But it's beautiful. I'm having such a wonderful time with it, and it has been such a lovely surprise to really like. I really like the movie too. I'll be talking more about that in the vlog, and as well as the differences between the original text and the movie adaptation that we got this year by Guillermo del Toro. It's looking like a possible 5-star. For me, we'll see. And then I guess I'll go in order on how I read these ones. Before, when you asked me what were my favorite books, I'll say romance. But right now these two are literary fiction, but they have love stories with them. So I guess that's the kinds of books that are my favorite now. Think Normal People, Talking at Night. Those two, even though they're very similar, those are the kinds of books that I like. They don't constrain themselves to the romance rules, or parameters, but they do talk about love and they follow a love story. So that for me has been and would always be my favorite kind of book. In the very late summer, I read Happy Hour, and this book, oh, I have tabs here. Okay, I do need to finish tapping. This book is just so beautiful and wonderful, and I wish I had read it sooner, although I think that if I had, maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I did now. This book follows two friends who moved to New York. They're in their 20s and they're broke, and they're taking on every random job that they can find because they're not legally allowed to work in the country because they're tourists. But they're trying to survive New York for this 1 year, and it starts in the summer. I think it starts in May. Yeah. And I started this book on May, but it took me longer to finish just because I was teaching a class for the first time, so all my attention went into that. But I remember finishing and reading in those last days of summer that are like kind of becoming fall, so I'm including it into this fall vlog. It was just wonderful. At the core of this book there's female friendship, and I love reading about female friendship. It kind of felt like everything I know about love made into a fiction novel. It was so funny, heartbreaking, heartwarming. It was all in the in-betweens of the spectrum of human emotion. This is the definition of no plot, just vibes. You just follow them. In this one summer, as soon as fall is rolling around, the book finishes, so you feel great reading it on that transition of summer into fall. Everything that you deal with in your 20s is in this book. There's the struggle for self-identity, the struggle to recognize yourself in other relationships, whether those are romantic, friendship, family, one night stand. Like there's so much contained within this one book, and one thing that these two characters love to do is go to happy hour even though they have no money. So yeah, it's very fun. It felt like being in New York in a very long summer day, which does not end. The descriptions of the city were beautiful. It's so insightful and like nice and fun. I will be rereading this next year, which I guess is also something new that I have found in my reading habit right now. I've been drawn to wanting to reread more books, whereas before I always wanted to read the next one and the next one and the next one. And now I'm like, yes, there are so many books, but I really want to ruminate in the ones that I love and adore, and Happy Hour has become one of them. This is one of my new 5 stars. Then the other book that it's kind of defining my book taste is Thirst for Salt by Madeline Lucas. Oh my god, this book, it's so beautiful. I read this right after Happy Hour, so beginning of fall into fall itself. It follows these two characters for over a year, so you get all seasons. Even though it starts in the summer, you see them all throughout autumn, winter, spring, and then summer again. So this is a perfect book to read whenever. But it's basically this woman who's looking back at her life when she was in her 20s, and she went on holiday with her mom to this beach town in Australia. There she meets this man. And there's this attention to the idea that she is 24 and he's 42, so they are like mirrors of each other. They start a relationship of sorts, although one big question of the whole book is the definition of that relationship. And you just see your main character navigating this relationship, which has become so pivotal in her life. And that, as a girl in my 20s, it's such a shared experience, even though the logistics of that relationship might look different for everyone. I feel there comes a point where when you meet someone who really dictates how you continue to think of love after them, and I feel this book does that a lot. And I liked how the sole purpose was not in defining what that relationship was, but her understanding what that relationship was to her, who she becomes to her own self, how she was when she was with him versus when she was away from him. Because there's this really cool thing in which he has a house in this small town, and one thing about the town is that in tourist season is filled with tourists, but once the winter comes in, everyone goes away. So it kind of feels like being in this deserted space, and he has a house there and they spend a lot of time at the house. So we see them from being in the house, and then we follow her back home and then back to the house. So her environments change a lot, and he becomes kind of central figure in her life, not because of the romantic idea of a partner or something like that, but because of how she feels herself drifting and changing based on how near she is to him. And that was just amazing. You also see a very closely relationship of a mom and a daughter, so that's really, really cool. I adore this book. These two have become my new favorite books, along with Normal People and others, but oh my god, these two, I love them so much. And then the last fiction that I read before Frankenstein was Bunny. I have had this book on my shelf for years, literally years. I always kept it for the Halloween time, but then Halloween comes and goes so fast that I was reading other things, and it never felt right to pick it up. But this year, me and my friend Brittany decided to buddy read it together. We did not read it at the same time, but we both read the book, which I think was the point. This book was so far away from the things that I like. It was such a different narrative, and yet I loved it. And this book is the one that really made me think of how my taste in books is changing. I don't think I would pick up another book like this quite yet. I think this is a very specific book that I have to be in a very specific mood for, but it was almost a 5-star for me. I think on my story graph right now is rated as a 5-star. Now I guess I'll go back and like give it a 4.75. I had so many feelings while reading this book and after reading this book. So this book is about Samantha. She's an MFA student, and in her school there's these girls who call each other Bunny, and yeah. And these girls, they are very close amongst themselves, and to Samantha they're very bizarre. But then one day they invite her to their ritual things that they do once a week, and slowly Samantha starts becoming one of the group and one of the bunnies. And a lot of things happen there obviously, but I think it would give you away a bit of the book. But I do want to say that it's very satiric, experimental, magical, and dark. I'm in an MFA program right now. The thing that I've been thinking about lately before reading this book is that the MFA program sometimes feels like a social experiment, because we have writing workshops, and in them you write something and then you show it to a bunch of people in the room. Some of them are your close friends, others are strangers or people that you only know in the room, and it feels very weird to just expose yourself like that. And I feel that this book deals on that, but this one takes a magical turn of sorts. After I finished it, I was like, what was that? It has aspects of dark academia, and it's just very like satiric and weird and fun. And then the last one that I read before Frankenstein is Seduction and Betrayal. I do want to go back to this book because this book is all about women in literature, and I have been eyeing this book for so long, but I never got it because it's multiple essays, and one of the essays is on the Brontes, the sisters. And one book that I want to read this winter is Wuthering Heights, but it had an essay in which it was talking about that book, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna read that book so I can read this. Anyways, my sister gifted me this for my birthday in February, and I read it recently and I loved it. I do want to go back because there are so many women and figures here that I don't know or don't know everything about them, and this book isn't introducing you to these figures, it's talking to you about them with the concept that you already know of them and you already know the basics of them. But it's on me, and I do need to go back and research these women because they were so compelling and wonderful. It's all about women in literature, so you see writers, ghost writers, the wives of brilliant male writers, female characters in books written by men. I mean, there are many more experiences that this book does not cover, but it felt like a look on the classics and the past, and so many things still hold accountable to this day, which was both fascinating and sad. It has an introduction by Joan Didion, and it's just such a wonderful book. I didn't know this writer before, but now I want to read more of her work. It had the works of Shelley Brontes, Zelda Fitzgerald, Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf, and others that I don't know, Dorothy Wordsworth and Jane Caroline. And then the title is A Seduction and Betrayal, which touches upon the general idea of women in fiction at the very end. Wonderful read. These are the books that I feel are kind of defining my new taste in books. And also I feel there are slower books, because that's another thing. Before I used to read so many books so fast, but because the books that I read lend themselves to that speed of reading, because I guess they want to do that. They want a consumer who's constantly on the forefront for the next one. And these are books invite for kind of like a stillness and a reflection and reminiscence, and kind of like slow down taking what I'm telling you. So I have noticed that this year I have read less books than normally, but that's okay, because I have read wonderful books.
Toda la culpa es del café que me recuerda tu sabor.
Hi. Do you guys still have pumpkin spice? Can I have a pumpkin spice latte with almond? Yes, a small one. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Nunca me he querido poner. Considera su deseo para hacerme feliz.
This is my favorite pumpkin spice latte in all Miami. I think this is a local coffee shop. I haven't seen any more stores of them. It's called Blackbird. I wait all year long for this. It's November and I got a library card. I go to sleep thinking of my coffee the next morning and the gardens of my library. I go there to read now, and I feel myself more attached to this city.
What is that? No, but he's more pre-running than I am. I have every
It's so cute.
As a kid, like chef's kiss. But I didn't see the thing on the wall.
So yeah, I'm so happy. I'm having an amazing time. I'm just having all these opportunities. Just
Enjoy the ride, enjoy
Yeah.
it. So involved in helping you guys get there.
I mean, the book helped a lot, but we wanted to give our spark.
Ali about it. Are you Team Cami as well?
Of course, and I want the people to be Team Kami, please.
Like, I know this.
Like, this is giving.
It is. Miami Book Fair book haul. I'm so grateful to everyone because I got so many books and I didn't buy any. But I have 9 books. This year I came home from the fair with 9 books and I didn't buy any myself. So I'm extremely grateful to everyone who had a part on this. This is so insane, and it's just so wonderful. So yeah, okay, let's start with the beginning. There's always a lot of wonderful authors coming to the fair every year, but this year we got Mercedes Ron. Mercedes Ron is the author of Culpa Mía, My Fault, the trilogy that was made into movies, and she's also the author of Dímelo Bajito, Tell Me Softly, which is another trilogy that now is being adapted into movies, and the first one is coming out December 12th on Prime Video. And so they were doing a raffle for her event, because some events at the Miami Book Fair are free, you can just go in, and then for others you need tickets, and usually those tickets include a book, and they were doing a raffle for her event of 2 tickets and some of her books as a prize, and I entered that raffle like weeks before the fair, never heard back. I was like, okay, I didn't win, it's okay. And then the day of leaving already for the fair, and I received a DM from Miami Book Fair telling me that I had won. My friend Charlotte and I got to the event, and they gifted me this beautiful bag. They always do these beautiful tote bags, 2025, the year of the fair, and it's just like, yeah, it's I love the bag, so I was really happy to get one of them. I get the bag, and it has 4 books of Mercedes within it. So we have the Tell Me Softly book, which is the one that she's promoting. We got to meet the cast, they were so nice and sweet, and it got me really excited for the movie and to read the book. Also, the main character in this book, her name is Kamila with K, just like mine, and I had never before seen my name on a book, like on a character. So that is quite exciting. I already started the book last night, and it's looking great. It's like the Summer Turned Pretty kind of style. The author said that she was very inspired by the Vampire Diaries, wanting to create a love triangle, so it's looking pretty promising. So I got this one, and then they gifted me Mi Culpa trilogy. The only thing is that they gifted me all these books in English, which makes sense because most of the people at the event spoke English, or they were expecting English readers. But I just love reading the original, so my fault books I'll probably buy in Spanish, Mi Culpa, but like they gifted me these super cute editions. Like, look at the spray edges, and then the inside has like R, and it's just, they're so beautiful. I wish they were in Spanish, but like it's a beautiful, beautiful copy. So that's the first one, My Fault. I also got Your Fault, also beautiful sprayed edges, and the inside. I love these movies, and I love that they're doing also the My Fault London movie. So I actually like My Fault London a bit more. I just love Nick from My Fault London. And then I got the final one, Our Fault. This is the regular edition, but still beautiful. I got 4 books gifted to me because of the raffle by Mercedes Ron, and I'm really excited because I have never read her books, but hearing her talk was so inspiring because she came from Wattpad, and then she got discovered and through My Fault, Culpa Mia books, and they became such a huge success that then turned into movies, which also became a huge success, so much so that they're doing like a second edition of the movies taking place in London, because the original ones take place in Spain. And now they're adapting this one, and this one also has 2 more books. There's gonna be 3 movies as well. Like, the whole thing is so exciting. Yeah, like, and she was so sweet as a aspiring author. It was really cool getting to see her. So I left the event, right? That was on Friday, and then I'm gonna go a bit forward now. On Sunday I went with my dad, and I was telling him about this book and how it had my name on it, but like I wanted it in Spanish, and he got me the Spanish edition, and it's just so beautiful. So now probably like give the English one to a friend. What I did is that this is the book that they signed for me, so I wanted the signatures, of course, because it was like to my name. So I took off the first page of this and like pasted it on here. So this page was from that book, but now it's in here so I can have my signatures and the book in Spanish. I started reading last night, and I'm on chapter 5, so I read this much. It's like a cute little fast romance. It's nothing life-changing. It's probably the kind of books that when I started reading I would have loved and it would have been my whole life. Right now it isn't, but it's really fun to read. Oh my god, there's like a little bee, and I thought it was inside, and I wanted to die for a second. It's so fun to read. So far I'm liking it a bit more than The Summer Turned Pretty, just because one thing that I don't like about the books or the show, though the show does a better job, like especially the books of The Summer Turned Pretty, is that Jeremiah is never likable, at least to my taste. And I enjoy a love triangle, but I want one where I'm rooting for both of them at different times, kind of like the Vampire Diaries. Like, I love Stefan. I know that it's endgame, but like, I love Stefan, especially in season 1. And so far in here, I'm not much in. The brothers are Tiago and Taylor, and based on like the online discourse, I'm getting that Tiago is like the one that everyone wants, the final endgame, whatever. But I'm really liking Taylor so far here too. I mean, I'm liking Tiago as well, but see, like, it's like a nice little book. And look at those edges, it's so pretty. And I don't tend to like hardcovers, but this one is just, it's so beautiful. So right now I have 5 books by Mercedes Ron, and before I went to the fair I had none. So this is really exciting. I'll keep reading, obviously, Dímelo Bajito in Spanish. And then on Friday, after that event, me and my friend Charlotte went to the Stimulate event. They were doing like a rooftop we're doing a Lost Chapter live DJ rooftop thing. They also had like a station of love letters writing, but both events started at 6, only that the Stimulate one kept going until 10. But of course we went to Mercedes Ron, and then when we got to this one, I guess the letters were already gone, like the supplies for them. That's okay, we had a nice time. It was so beautiful outside. But one thing that they had, this was a free event, by the way. We got in and we each got a bag that came with 2 books. They were gifted, and I got 2, and I will explain the wrapping paper. But the thing was, like, you get 2 books, and then they had a table with more options, and if you wanted to trade one for the other, or if you met someone and you wanted to switch books, like, it was so highly encouraged. So we got 2. I cannot remember, I think, yeah, okay, so I got one here, which is wrapped there right now because it's my gift, my Christmas gift for my friend Brittany, and I wanted to wrap that up already. I'll put a picture on the screen. Brittany, if you're seeing this, please don't like skip this. This book, it's called The Last Vampire by Romina Garber. It says that it has like a Pride and Prejudice meets Crave. I don't know what Crave is, but I love Pride and Prejudice, and Brittany likes it too, so I think it'll be perfect for her. When Austen-loving Lorena Navarro attends a new boarding school, expecting to find her own Mr. Darcy, but accidentally awakens the world's last vampire instead. Actually, I think I might even like this book, so I'll see what Brittany tells me after she reads it. And if anything, I might have to get it too. Like, that sounds really good. Not this. That was one of the originals that came in this bag, and then I got another one that Charlotte ended up getting for herself, and it was like a Snow White dark romance retelling of sorts. And then I saw this one on the table. This is an ARC, and that's an ARC too. I think that one hasn't come out yet. I think this has come out already, so it might be an old ARC that they had already. It's called Wish You Were Here, and it says that it has types of like You Got Mail, Book Lovers meets Nothing Hill. I didn't love Book Lovers. I mean, I like the idea of Book Lovers, I wasn't vibing with the book at the time. Maybe I need to reread it, but like Nothing Hill is one of my favorite movies. And You Got Mail, I think I haven't watched yet, but I love all those early 2000s movies, so it's really good. An unforgettable rom-com about finding the one person who makes you feel like yourself when the whole world is watching. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I don't know, I had never seen it before. And then finally on Sunday, I was with my dad. He got me Dímelo Bajito, and then I was like, okay, that's like one book, that's enough. And he just kept wanting to buy me books, and I was like, I feel bad because all these books are hardcover and they get really expensive. But he also bought me 2 from the Books and Books 10. Books and Books is our local bookstore here in Miami. It's my favorite bookstore, and these are 2 books that I've been eyeing for a while, and I have been waiting for them to come on paperbacks because I'm so excited to read them, but like they haven't. And I was sending him this, and he just decided to get me both. All That Life Can Afford. It's a book about a girl who goes to London, and she has this expectation of like Jane Austen balls and like beautiful romantic London, and it's met with the harsh reality of like what life becomes. I'm really excited because that sounds like the person that I am, having all these romantic fantasies about life and then being met with like what it truly is, and I think that's just part of growing up. Anyways, I'm just like so excited for this book. And then I got this one, and it's autographed. This is a love story by Jessica Soffer. Her signature is so cute. It's like Hi Miami with love. An intimate analytical celebration of great love, great art, and the sacrifices we make for both. For 50 years, Abe and Jane have been coming to Central Park as starry-eyed lovers, as frustrated and exhausted parents, as artists watching their careers take flight. They come along when they needed to get away from each other, and together when they had something important to discuss. The park has been the witness for half a century of love until now. Jane is dying, and Abe is recounting their lives together as a way of keeping them going. Told in various points of views, even in conversation with Central Park, these voices wave in and out to paint a portrait as complicated and essential as love itself. Doesn't that sound wonderful? Like, I think this is one of those books that when I read that, I was like, this might be a new favorite book of mine. Yeah, I'm so grateful to my father for getting me all of these ones, because like this one I don't think I would have gotten for myself, because I would be like, oh, but I already have the book, even though it was in Spanish. And then these are two kind of same story, I would have waited for the paperback. So yeah, these are all the books that I got at the Miami Book Fair this year, and like once again I'm so immensely grateful to everyone who had a part in me getting this. Today I have class, still a bit early, so I'll probably edit a little bit. I also need to write a not two-page story, it can be like the beginning of something, but only a 2-page word count of a fiction piece, which is gonna be, I'm gonna base it out of my first piece that I wrote, so I have that other blog of me writing a story. I'm gonna write from one of those characters' point of view, so it's gonna be exciting going back into that world, because I haven't been there in it for like a month, and that isn't much, but so many other things have happened in between that it feels kind of like a long time, so it's gonna be exciting to jump back into it. And then I also have the option of revising one of the stories, so I think I want to revise that one. It would only be a 10-page revision, so it won't be the whole thing, but I do want to go back and like look at that one. It's November and my fiction writing is engaging and consistently emotionally grounded, says the email my professor sends me. You sure you don't want to become a fiction writer? He asks. Okay, so it's many hours later. I ended up not sitting at the cafe. I just walked around. I went into a bookstore, looked at the books, and just had a little nice walk, which was actually what I wanted to do in the first place. I feel that I tend to try to include work into the things that I want to do. So if I want to go for a walk, I'm always like, okay, but I'm gonna bring my laptop so I can work and be productive. I get it that maybe for today that made sense because I have a deadline tomorrow, but that is such a American thought, I feel, and it's something that it's probably one of the main reasons why I miss living in Spain, because there's also a value in just spending time for doing nothing and just like existing. And today I kind of fell into a little trap of doing something else, right? At the same time that I'm just like walking around instead of just walking around. But I ended up just walking around, and then I came home, and that's actually when I started getting my writing done. I'm almost done with the 2 pages, like word count wise, I'm missing a paragraph, but I always want to try and make the best of the thing that I'm making, so I want these 2 pages to be the best 2 pages that I can make. And I'm really liking so far where I'm in with this whole thing. I was not looking forward to this assignment because the assignment is that you take one of the characters that you have written about and you write from their perspective. And the theme of it is that they are unsatisfied by the way that you wrote them or described them. And I was not looking forward to that assignment just because it requires a meta moment of the character acknowledging that they're fictional and also acknowledging you, the writer, in the work. And I sometimes like that in literature. Not all the times it has to be very specific, but I don't like writing it. I don't like thinking of myself. Like the whole idea of thinking of myself as a writer is kind of weird to me. Like I love writing. The process of it is magical. I love writing. But when it comes to perceiving myself as, oh, I'm writing these people, that's when it gets kind of weird to me because in my head they are real and I'm just listening to what they're saying and transcribing it in a way. Which I think it's why it's sometimes hard for me to revise because I'm so focused on that one thing that they said or did and it's hard for me to be like, okay, but actually this is a book, so we need it to work. But I'm really happy with where this led me because this is a story that I'm writing in the third person point of view, which I don't know, like I do know why I'm writing it that way. There's this sort of distance between the characters that I want the reader to feel like there's this physical distance between them, but many points in the story their thoughts collide and they're kind of like on the same line, but they don't say it to one another, and so the miscommunication aspect of it all comes into play. So I do know that I wanted third person before that. Maybe I could have done first person point of view and just have dual point of views. Maybe that's something that I can try out, but I kind of like the idea of third person for this, which it's strange to me because third person is not the narration that I like reading the most. Usually I tend to be like, oh, but it's third person kind of thing. So anyways, that's not part. The point of this is that because I'm writing an email from his point of view, I'm doing first person for this character that I didn't think I would do. And doing it has allowed me to really understand parts of him that I didn't understand before and to quite literally step onto his skin. So I don't know if this that I'm writing will be part of what I'm thinking for this project as a book. But regardless, like it has been such a great writing exercise that I'm just gonna keep on trying doing this for other projects and maybe the same project but maybe from the girl's point of view for a different situation. Like I don't think, well, maybe he intended it this way. I don't think my professor intended this exercise to lead to this conclusion. Maybe he did, but regardless, I'm really happy with the turnout of it all. I so far really like what I have. Like the point that I've gotten stuck in is when I'm like mentioning myself. Well, I'm not even mentioning myself. I'm mentioning a writer, hoping that will be enough. Because writing my name on the thing, it just feels weird. Which some writers do it and it's wonderful. But like even with poems, there's this form called agasol. That one of the rules of this poem is that on the last couplet, the last 2 lines, on one of them, you need to call yourself out and put your name. I have tried reading agasol once. By the way, I don't shine at that form. It did not go well. And the one thing that I didn't do was include my name because maybe I'll get over this. Maybe like I'll start writing my name and be the best thing that I have ever written. But for now, I don't love including my name in stories. It's the last day of November and I'm printing the story that has been living with me this past month. I'm cutting fragments of it away, making space for the world to evolve and for my characters to become more rounded on the page. I'm writing on my balcony under the Christmas lights. I'm wondering what drives a person to love another and to love a place. I don't realize what time it is when I finish revising my story and writing yet another poem about Madrid. It starts drizzling. November has been kind to me.